Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're tackling a really interesting topic, how you actually fund an international education in Thailand.
Yeah, we've got some fascinating documents here. We're looking at the practical side, the money, the grades, and the strings attached to scholarships.
Exactly, specifically comparing, government funding for Thais going abroad versus these private university deals for international students coming into Thailand, like at Rangsit University's International College, RIC.
It's quite the contrast. Our mission today is really to break down what it takes, what it really costs, and what's expected in return. It's
It
complex.
really is. And what we're seeing is maybe less about just being smart and more about fulfilling a very specific need for the institution providing the funds.
Absolutely. Two different philosophies. One's about building national capacity, the other maybe more about building an international brand. Both super selective, but asking for very different things from the student.
Okay, so let's ground this first. Before tuition, before scholarships, just living. What does it cost? Our first source gives this pretty stark picture of a minimalist student budget.
Oh, it's eye-opening. And when they say minimalist, they mean it. The source describes it as like aiming for 1 or 2 meals a day, very few snacks, hardly ever going out. It's the absolute floor.
Right, we're talking monthly costs here. To give you some perspective, the total comes out to maybe 7,500 to 7,900 baht per month.
Which sounds low, and it is. If you convert that, it's roughly what, 225 US dollars a
Sure.
month for everything.
Yeah, let's break that down. The fixed costs, they're actually quite low. Rent is pegged at about 3 to 700 baht.
Uh-huh. And electricity adds maybe another 500. So you're at 4,700 baht a baht for your absolute must-pays rent and power. That's finding some very affordable housing.
Definitely. But then you hit the flexible spending and wow, food budget, 1,800 to 2,000 baht.
For the month. Think about that. That works out to maybe 60, 65 baht a day. For all your meals, it means you're constantly counting every single baht you spend on food. No room for error, really.
And it keeps going. Hygiene, soap, toothpaste, basics, 200 to 300 baht.
Phone and internet is budgeted incredibly low, like 150 to 200 baht. That suggests you're probably relying almost totally on campus Wi-Fi or very basic plans.
And my favorite, or maybe the most telling detail, leisure, 100 to 200 baht.
A month.
Yeah, that's maybe one small treat or one trip somewhere super local. It's incredibly restrictive.
They even have a tiny emergency fund, just 300 baht.
So yeah, the total hits that 7,500 to 7,900 baht mark. And this is crucial context. Even if you get a full tuition scholarship, you still need to cover this amount yourself month after month.
That's about 2,700 US dollars a year just for this very, very basic existence. It sets the stage, doesn't it?
It really does. So knowing that's the baseline cost just to live, how do students tackle the actual education funding? That brings us to the two scholarship paths, right? Section 2. And they could hardly be more different in their aims. Path A, the Royal Thai Government Scholarship, the OCSC one.
Uh-huh. And what's interesting here is who it's for. Thai students who want to study outside Thailand.
Yeah. The government is investing in sending its talent abroad for degrees, bachelor's, master's, PhDs, 4, 2, 3 years respectively. It's a significant investment.
And it's targeted. The requirements link directly to what Thai government agencies need. You need a high GPA, 3.5 for undergrad, or PhD, 2.75 for master's.
Plus strong English, IELTS 6.0 or equivalent. They're sending top candidates.
But here's the key part. The obligation. You get the funding, but you are contractually required to come back and work for the Thai government.
So it's an investment with a clear expected return for the nation, building expertise that comes back home.
Exactly. It's national capacity building, pure and simple.
Okay, so that's Path A. Now let's completely flip the script.
Yeah.
Path B. The Rangsit University International College, Regina CC, 50% scholarship. This is aimed at international students coming to study in Thailand.
Right. And the goal here seems different. It looks more like, internationalization. Building the university's global profile, they offer 50% off tuition and academic fees.
But, and this is a huge but, in the documents, they are crystal clear about the financial reality.
Oh, yes. They explicitly state the student must be able to afford the other 50% of the fees, plus all living costs, for the full 4 years.
They actually say if you can't guarantee you can cover that remaining 50% plus living expenses, you shouldn't even apply.
Which really makes you question the term scholarship, doesn't it? If you still need substantial funds, potentially tens of thousands of dollars over 4 years.
Is it aid? Or is it more like a recruitment discount for high achievers who already have some financial means?
It seems like it's filtering for both academic merit and existing financial stability. You still need to cover that other half.
And that half isn't trivial. Depending on the program, ICT, biomedical science, international business, the total program fees before the discount can range from $500,000 to maybe $640,000 bare.
So even with 50% off, you're still looking at, potentially $250,000 bait or more in tuition over the 4 years, plus living costs.
It's definitely not bridging the gap for students with no resources. It's helping maybe middle or upper middle income international students get that Thai experience.
Precisely. Now, how do you actually get this RISE scholarship? Section 3, the application process itself, tells a story.
Okay, so the basics are there. You need to be non-Thai, under 25 usually, finished high school equivalent, standard stuff.
Academics, a GPA of 3.0 out of 4.0, or the equivalent on other scales. And English proficiency, IELTS 5.5. High, but maybe achievable for many international applicants.
But here's a little twist. If you impress in the interview but don't quite have the IELTS score yet.
They give you a second chance, basically. A follow-up interview specifically focused on your English with native speakers.
But if you fail that...
Scholarship offer is gone. No second chances on the second chance. The standards are firm.
Okay, but where it really diverges from just grades and test scores is the submission requirements. It's not just transcript.
No, not at all. You need a personal statement. Okay, standard enough, max 2 pages. But then a mandatory introduction video.
They are very specific about this video. Under 5 minutes, MP4 format only. And the file name has to be exactly right, like John Smith International Business.
The level of detail there is telling, isn't it? They're testing your ability to follow instructions precisely right from the start. It's almost like a pre-screening for compliance.
Or maybe signaling the kind of performance expected later.
Yeah.
But the absolute showstopper, the thing they hammer home, is the RIC Ambassador Project.
Oh, yeah. The documents are incredibly blunt about this. If you don't submit this project, your application is just rejected. Not even looked at for an interview. Mandatory. Full stop.
And what is this project? It sounds less like homework and more like, well, a pitch.
Exactly. It can be a summary, a video, a presentation, but look at the suggested topics. How will you contribute to RSU? Activities for a sharing giving society, outstanding personal achievements, or just straight up, why you need to choose me.
That shifts the whole focus, doesn't it? It's not, look what I've done. It's, look what I will do for you, the university.
Your academic record gets you in the door, perhaps, but this project seems to be the audition piece that decides if you're worth that 50% investment.
And they even tell you how they score it. 4 criteria, 25% each.
Let's break those down. Criteria 1, creativity and relevance. Okay. Criteria 2, expected outcomes specifically, value and contribution to RSU. That's huge.
25% based on your predicted utility to the university. Then what?
Criteria 3, technical or production value. They're actually grading the quality of your project, your video editing, your presentation skills.
Wow. And the last one.
Candidates' values and attitude, positivity, enthusiasm. They want someone who presents well and seems eager.
So wait, if the ambassador project is mandatory and scored like this, creativity 25%, expected outcome utility 25%, technical skill 25%, attitude 25%, where do your actual grades fit into this final evaluation?
That's the fascinating part. The grades, the GPA, seem to be the qualifier to get looked at. But the assessment for the scholarship itself heavily weights this ambassador project. They're explicitly looking for people who can create good content and represent the brand well.
That's quite a shift from traditional academic scholarships. You're not just a student, you're applying to be a part-time marketing asset.
And that role continues after you get accepted. Which leads us to Section 4. The post-acceptance obligations. Keeping that 50% discount isn't automatic.
No, it sounds like you're basically on performance review every semester.
You are. The scholarship is reviewed constantly. If your GPA drops below 3.00 or 3.25 for 2 semesters running, boom, scholarship terminated.
And it's not just grades. Changing your major can get it terminated.
Yes, which is a major consideration if you're not 100% sure of your field yet. And also, failing to participate in required college or university activities, you have to be actively involved.
They specify minimum work requirements too, right? Like actual hours.
Yeah. The documents mention models with, say, 48 hours of required assistance per semester, or specific allocations you owe, time to the language center, time for RIC events, time for faculty support.
So you're receiving a tuition discount, but in exchange, you are genuinely providing Structured, mandatory labor back to the university.
You're an active participant, an employee in some respects, and definitely a brand ambassador. It's a 4-year commitment to this role.
And it extends beyond the campus, too.
Yeah.
There's something about going back to your old high school.
Right, a community obligation. You're required to basically act as a recruiter, go back to your high school once or twice a year, and talk to younger students about RIC.
Closing the loop. They invest in you, you perform academically and institutionally, and you help bring in the next batch of potential ambassadors.
It's a very integrated system. But to be fair, there are significant upsides outlined too, especially regarding global opportunities.
Ah, yes, the global transfer programs,
Yeah.
particularly for international business and ICT students. The 3+1 model.
This is a big draw. Study 3 years at RIC in Thailand, then spend your final year at a partner university abroad.
And you can potentially get a double degree out of it, or transfer smoothly into well-known institutions.
Exactly. The documents mention partners like Murdoch University in Australia for computer science, University of Canberra for business, and several UK universities like Sheffield Hallam or De Montfort.
So RIC uses this ambassador model to attract capable, engaged students, and then provides them with pathways to further international experience and credentials.
Which in turn enhances RIC's reputation and creates this global alumni network. It's smart from an institutional perspective. They select students who can handle the academics and the ambassadorship, preparing them for global careers while leveraging their commitment.
Okay, so let's try and synthesize this. For you, the listener, thinking about international study in Thailand, what's the big takeaway?
Well, I think the core insight, especially looking at the RIC model, is that it demands this dual capability. Yes, you need the grades. But just as importantly, you need the financial backing for the other 50%, and you need to demonstrate proactively through things like that ambassador project that you're ready and willing to be an active contributor to the university's brand and community.
It's not just about what's on your transcript anymore. It's about your potential utility.
Absolutely. That scoring criteria tells you everything. Expected outcome and contribution to RSU count for a full 25% of the evaluation for that crucial project. That's a direct measurement of perceived future value to the institution.
So the final thought we wanted to leave you with is this. What does it mean for higher education when a student's value is increasingly measured not just by past academic achievement, but by their projected ability to perform, create content, represent the brand, adhere to rules, basically, their utility?
Yeah, how far does that push the definition of what it means to be an academic student, especially when technical production value of a video gets the same weight as, say, creativity or attitude? It's definitely something to consider as you look at how universities globally are evolving their scholarship and recruitment strategies.
A lot to mull over there. Yeah, thank you for joining us for this deep dive into the realities of funding education in Thailand. Catch you next time.